Hi, guys. Welcome to the Get It Done podcast, the podcast where I talk to business owners about their business, allowing them to share their business, giving us information on their journey along the way. I am super inspired by all business owners. I am always moved and changed by the stories of a lot of the business owners. So the idea for the podcast came from I get to work with a lot of people, and because I love business, at some point, the people that I'm working with, the conversation ultimately leads to business. And for the most part, people want to start businesses. They're not starting their businesses not because they can't, they don't have the means to do so. It's simply because they are scared. They have a fear of, I don't know, one thing or another. So my job is to destroy and uproot the spirit of fear. So I am hoping that the people that I talk to can inspire someone to just get up and get it done, whatever it is. This podcast is sponsored, is paid for, is brought up by Matilda's Corner. Matilda's Corner is all natural, plant-based skincare, and is also my business. So for the most part, as far as business owners, I'm talking to people basically that I've never met before. For the most part, most of the people that I've talked to, I've never met them before. I just find it more interesting to talk to strangers about what it is that they are doing. So I will go ahead and add on today's guest. Hi.
Hi.
How are you? Help me out. How do I pronounce your name?
Yeah, so my name's Maitri. It's like
Oh,
my and the number three.
right.
Maitri.
Okay. See, I would have messed that all up, so I'm glad I asked first.
All
So
good.
I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about your business.
Sure, thank you. Well, my name is Maitri Vaidya. Nice to meet everyone. Thank you for having me today. I am co-founder of Zessa Wellness. Zessa Wellness is a turnkey solution that in departmental engagement and access to mindfulness training for employees. So we bring mindfulness to the workplace, which, as all of you know, is extremely needed right now. So we, it's super exciting, and I think with the mental health crisis, which we can get into, it's extremely important to have in the workplace. But I'm also a healthcare professional, so I'm also I've been the past 20 years I've been in and out of hospitals running quality management departments, so I have that perspective as well. I saw the burnout in the healthcare setting as COVID was happening, and so it kind of boosted me to say we need to do something about this. Helped me kind of push myself in to get it done, and just help the world out a little bit more.
I love that. So when was the day when you were like, you know what? I'm just about to start. Like what happened? What actually made you like get up and do the thing?
Yeah. So, I mean, we started this company a long time ago. Ashley Hardcastle is my co-founder. And, we decided from day one that life happens and we needed to just take slow steps and baby steps along the way. So we really took our time. We both had full-time jobs, et cetera, et cetera. But I was I was in a position, I was VP over quality, and there was so much stress, and I was bringing it home, and I was gaining weight and breaking out, and it was underlying. I didn't really recognize it until one day I was in my office and I broke down. I shut the door and I had a panic attack. I got down on the floor and had a panic attack
Oh my goodness.
in my office, and I'm running this hospital.
Right.
And
Oh
I
my.
said, oh my goodness, something has to change, right? Something has to change, because obviously my body was feeling it through the changes that my body was going through, but I wasn't quite there mentally. And also, you have to think about the fiscal implications when you leave a position. So I wasn't quite there, but that made me turn the corner and reconsider everything in my life, right? Reconsider what I was spending my time on, where I was spending my time, how, or maybe that I just needed to not do anything for a while.
Yeah.
And that's
No,
okay too. That's that
yeah.
self-care aspect.
Yes. Okay, so walk me through the details because I'm not clear on what it is that you do. So walk me through the details of what it is that you do.
Sure. So I am Chief Wellness Officer at Zessa Wellness. And what we do is we go to organizations, they bring us on. So we don't have a brick and mortar. We come to you wherever you are, and or we can stay virtual as well. And we do workshops and webinars on mindfulness. So we teach on various topics. It can be basic meditation and mindfulness. What is it? What does it do to your body? We always incorporate the science into it. We do it from a topical perspective. So we discuss self-compassion, we talk about gratitude, we talk about resilience, and they are presented to organizations in a structured manner so that they're digestible by employees. So we do sometimes lunchtime events or early morning or after work. And, you know, the workshops can be as short as 30 minutes. We can extend them to 45, an hour, but their workshops are a 4-week series. So we have the ability to see the same employees and audience over time, and they get little homework assignments to integrate into their lives between the weeks. And I think that helps, because a lot of times we get questions around, how do I even start? How do I even start? And I think some of that is the knowledge of what it is. And then the piece that we're really big on at Zessa is explaining what it does to your body and the science behind it, because the science has really supported mindfulness and the benefits of it to the mind, body, and soul. And so, we have these workshops, and then we have these webinars that are a little longer, that are recorded. Organizations can, keep it on their shared drive and, share it with their employees if they weren't able to attend. But the feedback we've received is incredible. I mean, because this is all self-care.
Yeah.
And if you're taking care of yourself, and if employers are recognizing that employees need self-care and providing them the resources through organizations like Zessa Wellness, it can be super beneficial. And then all of a sudden your employees are happy, and and they're staying around, and it helps with retention and ROI and, all of the above, just overall satisfaction.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Does that help with what we do?
Yes, I get it now. I understand. I think that is very important, because working a 9 to 5, I quit my 9 to 5 about 5 years ago. But it's tough. Like getting up just the fact that you have to get up every single day and be somewhere at the same time every single day, and and you're there for hours, and then it's just tiring. And then you pile the work on top of that, like it's a lot. So that is very well needed. I absolutely love that. A great place for you guys to, I guess, probably reach out to is the school systems. The teachers need it.
The teachers do need it.
Yes.
If you have connections in the school systems, we're open. We have done some work there.
Yeah, I'm working on getting in, doing like different talks and workshops and stuff with the students. But once I get in, of course, yes, the teachers need it. And the teachers need something that we can add on to that.
We actually did work with teachers a bit ago at a couple schools, and we went in and just did some workshops with them, and they really enjoyed it. But I think the consistency is key, and then how they integrate it into their lives is a big piece of it.
Yeah, the private schools may be a little bit easier to get into.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful that, I'm here with you and able to even be on this podcast. I think that it's super important to kind of spread the message on, what everyone's doing in this world to just make it a little better, because I think we all have different skill sets. And it's super important. So thank you for even doing this. This is incredible.
Of course. Thank you for being here. And you said you guys have been in business for how long?
I would say at least 5 years.
5 years. And what would you say your greatest win has been within the last 5 years?
Yeah. So I am really excited that in the last 6 months, we've had the opportunity to actually, we had a couple opportunities to be on various talk shows. Nice. And so we were on TV, and we've been published over the past 6 months, multiple times, over 10 times. And I think that, for someone who's so passionate for, as we build, as when you're building your own company or you're doing it for a reason, it's coming from the heart.
Yes.
And to be validated in such a way, I think is really special because, we all, I think, have moments of hesitating. Am I doing this right? Is this helping people? Is this worth my time? But I've seen the repercussions in my own life. I've seen how it's helped me personally change my mindset. And I would love to just share it with folks because we have the power in our own mind. We really do.
I agree.
Mm.
Did you have to get over some sort of fear of, I don't know, any kind, starting the business, I guess showing up in the business?
Yeah. There's always fear of failure. There's always fear of, do we know what we're doing? Are we doing this right? There's that aspect. I think that the biggest challenge is getting contracts. I'm not a salesperson. Ashley's not a salesperson. And it's such a challenge because there's a whole skill around sales. But there's this piece, and we also had the opportunity to be part of an accelerator program, a revenue accelerator program, and we were taught the whole, all the steps around sales. But even then, it still takes a certain personality to be able to go and do this.
It's practice.
It takes practice, yes. Yeah. So I am in the middle of practicing. I'll tell you that. Lots of practice.
I say all the time, though, like, it's for one, I think life is practice, but everything that I'm doing in business, like even starting a podcast, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, it's just all practice. It's practice. All of it is just practice, is what I would say. And if we make it, or if we think of it like that, it's easier for us to like mess up and make the mistakes and move on and take the wins and whatever we learn from it.
I love that.
What would you say set you guys apart from other businesses that are in the wellness space?
Right. So what sets us apart is that we have more of a personal touch. We're not an app. There are quite a mindfulness. We have done our due diligence, and there's not many companies like us out there, very few, that will go into an institution and provide them a structured mindfulness, course. So that makes us super unique. There are other companies that do leadership development, but not from this mindfulness aspect. And the difference is that we also teach the science behind it. So we teach how mindfulness and the practice of meditation actually blocks stress hormones like cortisol. And so when stress hormones are blocked, what does that do? That decreases your blood pressure, that decreases your stress level. And so we connect those dots, and I think that makes us really unique.
I love that. Are you surprised at what you're doing? Like, would you want to do growing up?
No, I was told what to do growing up, so I didn't really know. But I'm not surprised, and I say that because it feels like I've been doing this for lifetimes. And it feels like this was meant to be. And I think a lot of business owners feel that way about what they do. Like there was a purpose. This is the life purpose in so many ways. And I do feel like I've been preparing for this for lifetimes. Mm-hmm. So it feels natural. It feels good. Mindfulness is a big piece of my own practice. And so with that, there's a clarity, I think. And, at this point in my life, I'm in my 40s. So at this point in my life,
40 later,
you look at life differently, and it feels like this is meant to be. And I really think that we're going to be able to help a lot of people with this program.
I love that. And what would you say to the little girl that people were telling you what to do and what you would do?
I would say, block out all the opinions and listen to your heart, because you do know where you belong. But that's very difficult when so many opinions are being thrown your way and so much,
especially when you're young. How important do you think it is at having a business plan?
I think it's quite important to have a business plan. There's, with businesses, there's a passion side, and then there's a reasonable, logical side, and the business plan is the logical side. So when it comes to understanding where your organization is going and understanding how the business world works, it's super important. So if if a company wants funding, the business plan needs to be in place in order to even move in that direction. And along with the associated pitch deck. So there's this piece to a business plan that's important. But I think when you're first starting out, you don't necessarily need it. I think when you're first starting out, you have to really try different things. You test the waters in different ways, see what works, fail multiple times, and then see what doesn't work in that way. But it's important, but it may be important later on in the business, like, as once you recognize what your service or product is.
Yeah. And how do you stay motivated? Like when things get hard or difficult, what is it that you do to like, okay, I need to change my mind?
That is such a hard question. I struggle with motivation. I am a woman of many traits, and I have my, hands and feet in a lot of different things. And motivation is a constant challenge because when you are taking baby steps, you don't always see the effects of them. You don't always see the end product right away. And I'm not sure how I do it. I get up, and I have 2 different jobs that I do in the day, and I get up and I do one, and then I switch gears in my head, but in between I eat and I work out and I, take a step back and I do a lot of self-care. And I think that self-care has quite a bit to do with the motivation.
Yes.
It's like that self-love. Mm-hmm. When you start loving yourself and you recognize your own skill set and where your heart is and what you need to do.
Even if it's just something as simple as taking a bath, like
that's my favorite. Yes, and I'll light a candle. I'm like, make my bougie bath right here.
Bathtub I've always been like this ever since I was a little girl, but I can literally stay in the bathtub for hours. Like I've sat in the bathtub and read entire books. Like I am a bathtub girl.
Yes. And it doesn't cost much to do that, right? Mm-hmm. Get a bath bomb, one of those, Target brands or something. You don't have to go to Lush for it.
Just make it special, whatever that may be. Turn off the lights, like you said, light your candle, turn on your low jazz, whatever it is, like just make it enjoyable. Do you think social media is important to a business?
I have learned that social media does provide presence because of the world that we live in now around technology. So yes, it is important when other organizations look at a company, they tend to go to their social media page. Yeah. And so in that way, it is important. We actually just hired a social media coordinator. So really excited about that. So you guys should be seeing some good information coming your way through our social media. So follow us at zessawellness.com. Well, at Zessa Wellness on all social medias.
I love that. Yeah, social media is it. I don't know, but yes, I feel like it's important.
It's a double-edged sword. Okay, like it is because it takes a lot of time to understand social media and when to post and what to post and how people. I mean, reels are such a hot thing right now. Yes. And we didn't do reels. And our social media lady came on. She said, "Where are your reels?" I was like,
"What reels?
Come up with reels." She's going through all her information, trying to come up with reels, and I'm like, "Wow!" And it's working.
Yeah.
When you understand social media, I always say get the expert at the table. I mean, it's good to start in the beginning on your own because you can learn some of it. Yeah. But this is a skill set. This is a technique. And it's important to at least like understand parts of it because people do sell. I mean, I purchase on social media. I'm going down my Instagram and I'm buying stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, that's the truth. It really is. It's how we even when we meet people, we're like, what's your social media? Like, if we're, like you said, if we're shopping, if we're learning about people's businesses, that is one of the first questions. Are you on social media?
Yes.
But yes, it's so important, I think, to everything that we are doing. What are you most proud of?
I'm proud of the consistency.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, it's one thing to start a project and start it. It's another thing to keep going with it day by day, through the baby steps, through the frustration, and still feel that motivation you were talking about, and still continue. So I think that consistency is huge. Um, and I think that anyone that has that consistency and is able to have that, there's another word for it I can't think of, but it's that practice, day to day practice, whatever it is in your life, whether it's reading a book for 10 minutes a day, or meditating once a day or twice a day, or working out, or eating healthy. Any of that consistency, I think, is really important, and that's something, I think that we've done at Zessa Wellness, and that's why we are where we are.
Yeah. I love that. When I quit my job, I told myself that I wasn't gonna, like, I had to make an agreement with myself. Like, I am not gonna quit. But what I did say is that I'm gonna give myself 10 years. And if I can't figure it out in 10 years, then I need to go back to work. So
Are you figuring it out?
Huh?
Are you figuring it out?
I'm figuring it out. Like, I don't have a choice, especially when I know that I don't want to go back to work. So it's like, I have to figure it out. I have time to figure it out. So this is what I'm here doing. But another thing that helps with that is me, like, I really love and enjoy my work. That is very, very important, especially when you are starting a business. If you are basically giving up, I gave up everything to do this. Like, I committed my whole life to this. But it starts with you having to enjoy it. Like, even when the things are, I was telling someone else the other day, like, the hard stuff is hard, yes, but if you love it, it makes it a little bit easier. It's kind of like a mama with a baby. Like, yeah, it's hard to be a mama, but because you love your child, you're going to take care of it. And that's just what I've been doing in this process, loving on my baby.
Awesome.
So what I do is just for fun. It's just a 5-word game. So I'll list a word, and then the first word that comes to your mind, you list it, and then the word that comes to my mind, whatever word that you say, and we go back and forth for 5 words.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Life.
Challenging.
Journey.
Fun.
Beach.
Relaxing.
Bath.
Sleepy time.
Rest.
Needed.
Yes. That was just for fun. That was nice.
Yeah, that rest is needed. I slept in today. It felt so good.
Yeah. Well, what I did for my resting, because I've never been a morning person, and I kind of hit on that earlier about having a 9 to 5 and having to, like, get up every day and be at work on time and all that. I've just never been a morning person, so it has always been, like, very, very hard for me to, like, get up, and especially, like, consistently back to back early in the morning every day. So once I quit my job, I gave myself 3 rules, but one of the rules that I gave myself was that I'm going to work when I want to work. So with that, I give myself my mornings. So if I want to sleep in, if I need to, like, take care of my home, if I need to take care of my personal, whatever it is that I need to do, and I don't take clients until after 11 a.m. So that was my rule for myself, and it has been a great joy, because if I just want to get up and make a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and, like, have a slow morning, I do that.
There's something about those slow mornings. There really is.
Yes.
So I have the week. I'm home alone this week. My husband's on the East Coast, and it has slowed my mornings down tremendously.
Yes.
Especially if I don't have any meetings, and I sit there and I have coffee sitting on the sofa and Like I can meditate for 5 minutes right now if I want.
Yes, it
Really
just
nice.
gets day started. Like it feels like the right way. Like and things
Mhm.
just flow in easily. One thing that you would say that you are unbeatable at.
That I'm unbeatable at.
I know this is
That's
a hard. Well, for me, it's a hard question, but I like to
a
hear
hard
what people's
question.
answers are.
Um, I'm unbeatable at being a leader.
Period. I
I
love
am a
that.
natural born leader. I always have been. Um, you know, I was given the opportunity by my parents to be exposed to a lot of different things
I
in
was
life.
just about to ask you, like, what stemmed that leadership?
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know,
Yeah,
seed side of you.
yep. I had a very strong grandmother raising me, and a father. I was the first daughter, so he kind of raised me as a boy at some level, where
Yeah.
he said, "The world is your oyster. Go," and he gave me the skills to be able to understand how the world worked
Nice.
based on how he learned it. And so I think that really pushed me in a direction of being a leader. And I was from a very young, I mean, I was a Girl Scout growing up, so I was exposed to a lot of things through that. And then just like through, when you get into middle school and they have those student council things, and then, and just I tended to just move in that direction. And it continued, and it still continues. And whether I like it or not, people keep putting me somewhere in some leadership position. I'm like, wait, I just want to
They
sit in
like,
the
I know you should
background.
do it. Get over here.
I want to sit. If it was up to me, I'd sit in the back and just listen all day long. But it's not up to me.
I love that. That is so
The
funny.
universe has other plans.
Yes. Is there anyone that you could say that has someone that is living that you can say that has I guess helped you tremendously, has inspired you, has led you, I don't know, kind of to where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I have to go back to my father. He has really provided me the skill sets to move forward. Um, there are aspects of our relationship that are challenging, but you know, now I can look back as a grown woman and say, yeah, he did expose me to quite a bit that allows me to be who I am now.
Yes, same with
And
me and my
yeah.
dad.
Hmm. Hmm.
um so at some point today, whenever you have time, like just I don't know, a minute, um, call your dad and tell him thank you and tell him what we discussed and give him his flowers, because what I've learned is that our parents, especially our parents, our all the people that contribute to us, um, they're doing it because they love us, but they don't understand the impact that
Mm.
how impactful that they are to our lives, just because of them basically simply loving us. At
Mm.
the core of it, it's just all stems from love. So call him and give him his flowers. Don't forget and tell him I said hi, dad.
He'll be shocked. You're
Yes,
doing
I'm
what?
sure, but they love hearing that stuff. Like it just melts their heart. I'm telling you, he'll love it. It'll make his day. um
That's awesome.
So the goal of the podcast is, I'm sure you heard the intro, but the goal of the podcast is to um, basically inspire someone that is just scared to get up and do the thing. The idea came from me. I'm an esthetician and I work with lots of people. So clients just laying on the table, everything comes out. We talk, especially
Mm.
if they're like continuous clients. So I get to hear about their lives and their desires and all these things. And at the core of many of them, they want to start businesses, they want to do the thing, and they're not doing it because they're simply just scared to do it. So is there any advice that you would have to her or him, just to get up and get it done?
Yeah. I think some of that hesitation comes from some sort of lack of self love. And I think that I would say to them, really concentrate on how you talk to yourself and how
Yes.
you love yourself. We have these stories that we tell ourselves in our head, around all sorts of things, right? And we can spiral in one direction, spiral in another direction. And I think it's important to recognize the stories we tell ourselves and then switch gears and really shift that story and change that story and make it more positive. And when we, I think when that, light goes inward and you start really loving yourself and feeling that, it then leads to the confidence. And that confidence is what leads to people saying, okay, I'm going to open an LLC. And it's a process, right? You have to understand the law at some level or get the right professional to help you. It's a bit complicated. It can be complicated, but it takes that confidence to do it. And I think it stems from that self-love. I think that's, yeah.
Thank you. Maitri, it has been a great pleasure talking to you. Is there anything that we didn't go over that you'd like to share? Any questions? Anything you'd like to say?
Well, for those of you that are interested in having a mindfulness program at your organization, or if you want to get a group together and do it that way, reach out to us at Zessa Wellness. We're here to help. It's really a skill that you can use throughout your life, and it's with you at all times. You don't need to go pay someone for it. You don't need to. There's a piece to it that once you learn the skill, you have it at all times, and it's like right there when you need it. So reach out to us. We're here to help and answer any questions that you need around this. But Matilda, thank you so much for having me on. This has been amazing.
Thank you for showing up. I will at some point send you all the links. So I'll just send you a text and it'll just be all the links to the show. But thank you again for showing up. I am super excited about. So one last question.
Okay.
Is there what is the great vision for the business?
The vision for the business?
Yes.
The vision for the business is that we are able to, integrate ourselves into the workforce in a way that helps decrease burnout and improve satisfaction while also helping the businesses, with their bottom line and their ROI and the sick days and everything that they lose. I know that is always, from the business perspective, so important. This is beneficial to everyone. And so I think that's really important to remember.
I love that. I'm so excited about all the things that you guys are doing, that you will do, the people that you'll touch and help, not only in work, but you also help families at home because they take that from work and they apply those skills to family life as well. So thank you for doing your work, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this podcast. And you're in South Bay, right?
I'm in LA, just outside of Gardena.
Okay. Yeah. I'm in San Pedro. So I'm going to see you at one of these events, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm going to be back and going to events soon. But I will talk to you soon. And thank you so much again for showing up.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Episode 44. Another beautiful business. Like I am, because that her business kind of stems into self-care, or I guess it at the core of it is self-care. I am a self-care girl. I'm super all for all things self-care. Anything that helps us get us or helps us to continue to keep the ball rolling in a positive way I'm all for it. I am super excited. I'm super inspired by you guys. So if you are a business owner that would like to share your business, contact me on whatever platform this is. I would love to hear your story. If you are a male entrepreneur, where are you? Where are the men? Like I said before, the ladies are out here killing it. Yes, I love it. But I want to talk to some men. I've had out of 44 podcasts, I've had 2 men. All the rest of the podcasts have been ladies. And I'm all for the ladies, but I want some male energy. So where are you guys at? If you know a male entrepreneur, please send him my way. Don't forget to thank God for your blessings. Don't forget to take care of your skin. Don't forget to say your prayers. And don't forget to have a good day. Bye. I'll be back later. I have a podcast this evening, so I'll be back today. Bye.